Good evening at 7 o'clock on a Monday night. Sorry, I was just throwing something off the table. and here I am, Norma Cowie, with mental mind treatments. As I often do, if I remember to collect one, I've got a insight card. And I've been talking in the last little while about the subconscious, about thinking, etc. And interestingly enough, I got the symbol that said, "My mind is a machine. I can choose to direct it instead of being directed by it." And I'll see if I can put, yeah. So we've got here like a little mind machine in there. And that's really true, and if you've listened to me on the other ones, I tell you how to stop the thought, to really change the thought, not just, some people say, a whole pot of things where I like to actually freeze it, evaporate it, and replace it. On the back side, it says every problem, or gift wrapped, is a gift, a teaching, and an opportunity. Now, I found in my life very often when a problem has come along, it has not felt like a gift. But in retrospect, yes, many things have changed and happened because of what goes. I'm trying to find the right place. There we go. Right place for where and how things have happened. So we are here for another night of mental mind treatments. I do have some already in my book. I pulled the tarot card for tonight too, and I know many of you are interested in the tarot. And tonight I got the Wheel of Fortune, change. The Wheel of Fortune is always about change. You doesn't ever quite know what's going to be going on, but it does mean change. It does mean growth. It does mean the directions of where you're going. So I'm just going to begin with the people that I have. A dear friend Kayla phoned me today. She's may come on later, but she's going to be tied up. So her left hip is playing, really, really playing up. And what I just, she sort of left it to me. She just do whatever. So it's almost like acceptance of where it is and where it's going. I did do some numbers, but I think I'm just going to go into treatment for this because a lot of this is she's doing something else this weekend, this week, sorry. I think it's this week. And so she's going to be busy again. So the numbers that I got, which I'm just going, is all about acceptance, and which we've been getting for her lately anyway. I know there is one power and I know there is one essence, and I speak my word for Kayla. As I speak my word for Kayla, I know that the healing, the healing process is ongoing. I also know that within her left leg, whatever, is that there is strengthening from the inside. I can feel it strengthening. But again, it's all about acceptance of that mobility that comes with that leg right now. It also, I feel, quite important to watch not only the balance and the understanding through the acceptance of it all, but also to watch when it begins to hurt more. There's a trigger there somewhere, and it may be emotional, it may be mental, and it may be that you've just done too much. But it's about watching and looking and learning about what is the trigger for this to occur. I give thanks and knowing that for Kayla, that the energy is there to aid, help, support the healing of that left leg. And I know the knee is involved as well. And so I give thanks for this as I release this thought, knowing that it is true and it is done and it is through there. And I don't know, I was talking before, my throat was not all closing up. So sips of water. We will keep it goes. Kayla, also, I'm confusing probably Kayla's leg, knees, or whatever with Marion's left hip, which I've got written down here too. So maybe Kayla's not the left hip. Maybe my brain got everything all confused. Well, it all works anyway. That's the one thing about prayer. And when it gets out there, people, if it relates and is familiar, it will work for you. Um, I got three numbers for Marion too. I got a 3, 12, and a 9, in which 3 is the loving energy, 12 is acceptance, and 9 is the answer lies within. When one knows one's answer, sometimes it is frustrating when elements don't come together or seem to fix up or do what they're going to do. All of those things seem to be frustrating more than anything. But when we look at this left hip, to me, it seems more associated to a degree. I know the left hip's hurting, but it seems to be also working with the lower part of the back. I don't know what all the vertebrae are, but if I was to do a direct line out, there would be, I think, a vertebrae there that's all involved with this as well. So let's do a treatment on the healing and the ease and the acceptance of this within the self. I know there is one power and oneness, and I know as I speak my word for Miriam, that the left hip and other components that are relating to the hurt, the pain, the lack of movement, that the energy of the universe is able to shift it and move it and bring a sense of harmony back into that. I'm going to call it the lower back. I really feel it goes into a much bigger place than just the hip. I know that the energy flows through, and by the numbers here is that the acceptance once more maybe of the limitation, but it's like, because the answer is knowing. The number 9 says the answer is knowing, because the answer lies within. And I give thanks in knowing that just by giving our attention to this left hip and that lower back on that, particularly that left side, that there is an element of releasing and letting go of expectation, letting go of considerations, and letting go of, again, I said expectation already, of expectations of what will come. The strengthening of bringing things back into an alignment where there is a flow on many different aspects of that lower back. It may be hurting in the left hip, but to me it's inflamed in much more a wider circle. So it's like allowing everything to just, I feel like I want to drip. It's like when you wash something and you hang it up without going in the dryer, it drips and drips. I feel we just need to drip this out. And that is acceptance that this is what's necessary for it. So in a way, we could say that is time is required here through the loving prayers, energy, and everything else that's sent to it. As we accept it, this is how it is, and the time will come, because I can't move it. It's like everything is stuck. I can't move it. But that's not my job to move it. My job is to set the energy up so it can be moved. I give thanks in knowing as we release this element by being aware that Marion's lower back, especially into the left hip, releases, allows everything to move again with ease and grace. So all the things that can occur and be, I give thanks in the knowing of this. And so I release by saying, and so it is. Very interesting. Okay. I also had an email come in just as I was getting ready to begin to get something out from Annette. Annette was sitting quite a bit, a long paragraph actually, around her work environment. And I picked 3 numbers as I felt it, as I looked into it. And I got 20, 11, and 2. Judgment, which is acceptance. 11, which is karma, in a way. Decisions. I also making a decision. And 2 is also a decision. So that tells me and actually she told me in the email, but the numbers that tells me this is a situation that needs to be accepted for what it is. And so consequently, as we just accept what is, we then have to make a decision about what we're going to do with it. What are we deciding to do with it? Because you've got your number 11 is a higher order of the two, which is a decision. That the idea is really we need to look at what is the outcome of decision A or B or C or D or whatever you decide. But a decision has to be made rather than the feelings that you wrote in your letter to me, because that is not healthy for you and is not productive for your work situation and or you personally. When we make a decision, that's just the first part of it. The second part is the acting on the decision and how we work it and what we do. So I'm going to do a mental mind treatment on this for you to get clear what you need to do for you. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know as I speak my word for Annette, that when it comes to the work situation, and I'm going to talk about environment, that there is strength, there is clarity, there is an awareness of accepting all the variables. I feel like there are many balls in play here, and not just one or two. There's many balls in play. And the key here is through accepting that a definite decision has to be made for yourself. It can't be just says, oh, this is how it is. You have to decide what you want to do about it. And what you could do is nothing. Or you could decide something fairly drastic for you. But it's about really taking a look at it head on and looking at it very much as to what's really going on. The letter you sent me, the email you sent me, it was very clear what's going on. But you have to look at your part of that you are reacting, you're taking it on. So to me, it's an energy question of getting your energy close. So all that's going on in the office stays out there. I know I've had to work recently. There must be something in the air, because I've had several clients who have phoned up about that recently, where we've had to work on them getting very clear for themselves so they're not affected by the work environment, and then making a different decision perhaps than what they really thought that they were going to do. Because what we see here, this is all about you accepting, yes, but also making a decision. See, if we look at this, 20 really is a 2 and a 0. 11, 1 and 1 make 2, and 2 is 2. And it's all about decision. It's all about decision. That's how you're going to accept that. You have to decide how you're going to accept it or not when it gets down to it. Do I accept this or do I not accept it? So I really feel here that the strength that you have within yourself is going to be important. So let's look for strength. I know within the one power and the one essence that Annette can breathe and know that within herself she has strength of purpose, strength of awareness, and strength in the relation to where she wants to go and where she wants to head. I give thanks in the knowing that this will strengthen over the next few days so that she has clarity. Because when we have clarity, it is so much easier to then begin to work in the directions that you want to work in and go. I give thanks in the knowing of this as I release this thought, knowing that it is true and done. And I say thank you very much. And so it is. Okay, Karen came on saying good evening and blessings to everyone. Marion says good evening, Norma, blessings to all. Karen Marcus says greetings, Norma. And she gives me 3 numbers. 19, 22, and 14. Okay. So what we've got here, if you're into the tarot numbers, 19 is the sun, 22 is the fool, and 14 is temperance, which talks about movement by faith and remaining balanced within the change. Growth, whether it be a personal inner growth or whether it be a growth change within the life, still has an element that needs faith. We need to have faith in ourselves. We need to have faith in what we're doing, and we need to have faith in the direction we're heading. But when we go to make change, which the 19 signifies here, we have to maintain a balance. We maintain, like our feet have to be firmly planted on the ground. We have to know where we want to go, what we want to do, where we're heading. And that's where the faith comes in. But it is a practical application. It's just not that we, in the fool just walks out like crazy because he knows everything will be all right. But when we are followed by the 14, it means there's things you need to do, and there's time involved. And I'm not going to look at the length of time, but there's time involved because it takes time sometimes to finish or complete that which you're wanting to do. I give thanks and knowing for Karen that there is movement, there is growth, there is progress, and the faith that she has will move in a very, very, very excellent way. And so we release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, Karen B., may I please have a treatment for Laurie's husband, Bob? I got to write these down because I got to make the energy connections. There might be some new people listening because I feel like I'm having to explain everything when mostly people who come in weekly know what I'm doing. And her husband, Bob. Okay. And he has been dizzy for over a year and doctors don't know what it is about. Okay. No numbers. All right. Let me just take a look at this for a minute. Okay. Hang on. I got to go through Karen, through to Laurie, to Bob. And so I'm going to put 16. That's the dizziness. 22. Oh, I don't know the man. I've never met him. I don't know his wife. I've spoken with Karen personally, so I do know that. I think he's stubborn. Number one. I think there's a stubbornness. Yeah, that's at number 4. I think he has an idea how it should be and gets upset when it isn't. So I'm going to read backwards, actually, from the numbers. As I have 16, 22, and 4. 16 means something from the outside comes in and you have to let go because there's no way you can deal with it. You just got to let go and rebuild whatever. But 22 says you need to have faith, but then you have this 4 hanging on. So because he's not here and I can't talk to him and ask a question, I would say that there is a stubborn streak in this gentleman. And it's like it's almost a frustration, I feel, is that he can't figure out why this is here. And then the doctors can't either. But I don't know his blood pressure. The doctors will know his blood pressure. I don't know. But I feel that what happens, there's such a frustration, and you'd have to go back when this first started. There was such a frustration with what was going on that he didn't let go. And the interesting thing, this is the second person where I got 16 in it. It is important to be able to let go of situations that are affecting you emotionally, mentally, psychologically, physically. The art of letting go. And a lot of us do not have that built in. We have to learn it. And what I feel here is that he's hanging on. He's hanging on to something. And I want to go back to the original when it first happened. And I think you said over a year. You need to go back to when it first started and find out what is the belief, attitude, or judgment that he can't let go of, that he's upset about. Now he's upset because he's dizzy. But what was the original thing back? There's an original thing in there. It's like a pin in a balloon, but the pin hasn't been pulled out. so the balloon can't collapse. Now I'm just going to know that, and I know it came unexpectedly. It wasn't usual, but that's what I would that's what I would suggest. Let's put it that way. So in treatment, let's see what comes up there. I know there is one power, and I know as I speak my word for Bob, husband of Laurie, friend of Karen's, that the letting go of those things that upset us, that bother us, that frustrate us in particular, are able to be released because we recognize the bigger picture of life, that life moves gently and easily onward. And the letting go of those things that upset us and working with our own faith of moving ahead and trusting that where we plant our feet will be honored, will be seen, to allow us to view the vista life in a much different way. I give thanks in the knowing for Bob that the acceptance of what occurred originally, that what happened originally is that he can let go and move ahead with faith and understanding that it's time to move on, that it is time to let go and move on. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks in knowing that there will be ease within the person, Mr. Bob, by doing that. And so I release this thought by saying, and so it is. Amen. Kayla said, God, in time to hear you're talking about my legs. Thank you for the treatment. For me, the night is in a bigger problem. I will follow your suggestion to find the triggers. Okay. Again, she says, I just typed a note, but it did not show up on your chat. Yes, it did. I think I got it now. I just know it made it wasn't you were talking about me. For me, it is the right side, not the left side. I confused you with Marion. Sorry, but but still, the energy is still the same, right, my dear? So you just take it easy this week. Don't push yourself, please. Marion says, thank you, Norma. You are so correct. The disc problems in the lower back. Thank you. And Karen Marcus says, thank you again. Oh, we're going to be even shorter than usual tonight. My goodness me. Well, that's the shortest group we've had for a long time now. Just want to say, Yvonne, I got gosh, look at me. I didn't think I was tired. I'm sorry. I've got your notice, and I'll be emailing you tomorrow about Saturday. On Saturday, I'm offering Channeling Your Guide for $50, and I have a couple of spots left, that's all. But so if you're interested in that, you can let me know, and I can get you a slot. And in the meantime, I think we've got, oh, hang on, no, there's much more going in down here, I think. Oh, Karen Barney says, thank you so much, Norma. I'm sure Laurie and Bob are appreciative for the treatment. I hope so. I hope they figure it out, because you got to go back over a year ago when before even the dizziness started, to find out what it was he was resisting. So yes, much love and everything else. Well, I guess there's no one else that's got anything to do then tonight. Well, I will say thank you. I will say I appreciate your thumbs ups. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate everything about you for being here and letting us work in this lovely spiritual form of being able to work. And so I will say good night and enjoy. Bye now.